The sun was hot that afternoon as President Ibrahim Traoré visited a small village in the heart of Burkina Faso. The land was dry, the roads dusty, and the people poor. Yet the village was full of life, laughter, and hope. Ibrahim had come without media, without bodyguards, just wearing a simple shirt and sandals. He wanted to feel the ground his people walked on, hear their stories, and see their faces, not through a screen, but with his own eyes. As he walked down a narrow road, children ran beside him, barefoot and smiling. Mothers waved from tiny huts. Old men offered him water. He thanked them all kindly, shaking hands, patting shoulders. He didn't speak like a president. He spoke like a son, like a brother, like a friend. In the middle of this joy, a small girl, no older than 8, appeared from behind a hut, holding something tightly in her hands. She was thin, wearing a faded dress, her feet covered in dust. Her eyes were big and full of emotion. In her hands, wrapped in a cloth, was a small piece of bread, dry, rough, and cracked. It was clear that this was all she had. But she walked toward Ibrahim slowly, nervously, holding it out with trembling fingers. Everyone watched in silence. Ibrahim stopped and looked at her. "What's your name, little one?" he asked gently. "Sarah," she whispered. "Why are you giving me this?" he said, kneeling down to her level. She looked down, then back at him and said, "Because you look tired. And Mama says when someone is tired and hungry, we should share what we have." He took the bread slowly with both hands as if it were gold. His eyes began to water. "Did you eat today?" he asked. She shook her head. "No, but I'm not hungry." "You can have it." That moment broke something inside Ibrahim. His heart was heavy, his chest tight. Around him, no one made a sound. Everyone was watching. He looked around and saw a small mat under a tree. He took Sarah's hand and walked over to it. Sitting down with her, he broke the bread in half. He gave one piece back to her and said, "You gave from your heart. Now I share with you too." She smiled the brightest smile anyone had ever seen. They both ate the dry bread together under the shade of a tree, as if it were the finest meal in the world. The villagers gathered around, moved by what they saw. Some began crying quietly. Mothers covered their faces with their scarves. The old men whispered, "We've never seen a president do this." But Ibrahim wasn't doing it for show. He was doing it because he was raised by a woman who taught him that kindness is the highest form of power. After the meal, Ibrahim asked where Sarah lived. She pointed to a small clay house with no door. No windows, just a curtain made from an old sack. "I live with Mama and 2 brothers," she said. Ibrahim stood up and walked there, the whole village following behind. When he reached the door, he called out, and a tired-looking woman stepped out holding a baby. "Is this your daughter?" Ibrahim asked. She nodded, scared. "She gave me her only piece of bread," he said softly. The mother's eyes filled with tears. "We didn't have anything else today, but she wanted to help you. I told her not to give it, but she didn't listen." Ibrahim smiled gently. "She listened to something greater, her heart." He turned to his assistant, who had finally caught up with him, and said, "From today, build this family a proper house, brick, roof, water, everything. Make sure the children go to school, and get her mother a job in the town office. She deserves more." The villagers gasped. The mother broke down in tears. Sarah just stood there, confused but happy. As the sun set that evening, Ibrahim stood in front of the crowd. "This little girl reminded me today what real leadership is," he said. "It's not sitting in a palace. It's not wearing expensive suits. It's about caring. It's about sharing. It's about giving, even when you have nothing left. People clapped, some shouted his name, others just wept. News of what happened spread like wildfire across Burkina Faso. But Ibrahim never called the press. He didn't post it on social media. He didn't brag. For him, it wasn't a story. It was a lesson. That night, as he returned to the city, he kept Sarah's piece of cloth, the one that held the bread, folded in his pocket. In his office, he placed it on his desk. "Let this remind me every day," he said to himself, "why I chose to serve the people." Months later, Sarah's family moved into their new home. She started school. Her brothers had clothes and books. And her mother, now smiling and proud, told everyone the story of how her daughter fed the president. And to this day, whenever someone in Burkina Faso talks about kindness, they say, "Remember Sarah's bread? That piece fed more than a man. It fed a nation's heart." And the story is passed down from parent to child, not just as a tale, but as a truth. The kind of truth that reminds us real leaders kneel before children, and real power is found in love. And that is why people say, "You won't believe what Ibrahim Traoré did when a little girl gave him her only piece of bread, but when you hear it, it will touch your soul forever."